The history of the world is a vast and complex subject that spans millions of years and encompasses the rise and fall of countless civilizations, empires, and cultures. It is a story of human triumphs and tragedies, of progress and setbacks, of wars and peace, and of the evolution of human society and culture. Join the Knowledge Now community by subscribing to our channel and never stop learning, with new videos every week to expand your mind and broaden your horizons. The origins of human civilization. The history of the world begins with the emergence of humans as a distinct species around 300,000 years ago. For most of this time, humans lived as hunter-gatherers, migrating across the planet in search of food and shelter. It was not until around 10,000 years ago, during the Neolithic Revolution, that humans began to settle down and develop agriculture, which allowed them to create permanent settlements and form the first civilizations. The first civilizations emerged in the Middle East, in what is now known as the Fertile Crescent. These early civilizations, such as those of Sumer, Babylon, and Assyria, developed advanced systems of writing, law, and government, and made significant contributions to the fields of mathematics, astronomy, and medicine. In ancient Egypt, another great civilization emerged, characterized by its impressive architecture, such as the pyramids and temples, as well as its sophisticated religious beliefs and practices. The ancient Egyptians also developed a system of writing, known as hieroglyphics, which is considered one of the earliest forms of written language. The rise and fall of empires. Over the course of history, numerous empires have risen and fallen, each leaving its mark on the world. One of the most famous empires of all time was the Roman Empire, which dominated much of Europe, North Africa, and the Middle East for several centuries. The Romans were renowned for their engineering prowess, building impressive structures such as the Colosseum and the aqueducts, and for their military might, which allowed them to conquer and rule over vast territories. Another great empire was the Mongol Empire, which emerged in the 13th century and rapidly expanded across Asia and into Europe. Led by the famous conqueror Genghis Khan, the Mongols were feared for their brutal tactics and their ability to rapidly mobilize vast armies. In more recent history, the British Empire emerged as a dominant force in the 19th century, colonizing much of the world and establishing a global network of trade and commerce. The British Empire played a major role in shaping the modern world, including through the spread of the English language, the development of modern industry, and the establishment of democratic institutions. The World Wars and their aftermath. The 20th century was a period of major upheaval and change, marked by two devastating world wars that reshaped the global order. The First World War, which began in 1914 and lasted for 4 years, was characterized by brutal trench warfare and the use of new technologies such as tanks and airplanes. The war resulted in the deaths of millions of people and led to the collapse of several major empires, including the German, Austro-Hungarian, and Ottoman empires. The aftermath of the First World War saw the establishment of the League of Nations, a precursor to the United Nations, which aimed to prevent future wars through international cooperation and diplomacy. However, these efforts proved insufficient, and the world was plunged into a second global conflict just 2 decades later. The Second World War, which lasted from 1939 to 1945, was even more devastating than the first, with an estimated 70 million people killed. The war saw the use of atomic bombs for the first time and resulted in the defeat of Nazi Germany and the establishment of the United States and the Soviet Union as superpowers. The Cold War and the rise of globalization. The aftermath of the Second World War saw the world divided into two opposing ideological blocs, with the United States and its allies in the West, and the Soviet Union and its allies in the East. This period, known as the Cold War, was characterized by a tense standoff between the two superpowers, as well as by numerous proxy conflicts and regional wars. The end of the Cold War in the late 1980s and early 1990s marked a new phase in world history, as the collapse of the Soviet Union and the emergence of new economic powers such as China and India led to the rise of globalization. The increasing interconnectedness of the world, driven by advances in transportation and communication technology, has had a profound impact on the world economy, culture, and politics. In recent years, the world has been characterized by a series of complex and interconnected challenges, including climate change, the rise of extremist ideologies, and the global pandemic caused by the COVID-19 virus. These challenges have highlighted the need for global cooperation and for new approaches to address the major issues facing humanity in the 21st century. The history of the world is a long and complex story, shaped by countless factors and events. It is a story of human triumphs and tragedies, of progress and setbacks, of war and peace, and of the evolution of human society and culture. As we look to the future, it is clear that the challenges facing the world are more complex and interconnected than ever before, and will require new approaches and greater global cooperation to address. However, by learning from the lessons of the past and working together, we can build a better and more sustainable future for all. We hope you enjoyed this video. Please make sure to subscribe to our channel for more interesting videos.